19-12, Williamsville South leading, but not all that comfortable by 7. A lot of festivities at halftime as the Eagles, well, the officials now calling timeout on the field for an equipment problem. Homecoming at Williamsville South. You've seen an awful lot of floats. Each of the classes, seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen, had their own particular float. And Frank, 2 weeks left in the season for our broadcast, unless we have a bonus game somewhere along the line, and we'll have a big Catholic showdown, Timon and St. Joe's. That will be a championship game, and then the Rich Stadium deal. Not quite sure of the games there. Bianco, dive into the line. Very short yardage there. And I think it was the fullback who dove in, Brett Borman. No, it was Maceo, 24.
Real short gain there for Maceo. And nice to see that Catholic schools will get their opportunity to play at Rich Stadium, as you said. Timon St. Joe's, real good football game, and that'll bring a lot of fans out.
3rd down and 21. And Bianco has everybody out to the right. Ober and Evans. Looks like he will throw from the I formation to the right. Everybody rolls out to the right. Good pass protection. Bianco whips it out to the right. It's caught by Evans, who hurdles and is going to be well short of the first down yardage as he got over the 30, but had a nice gain on the play.
Well, a 14-yard reception for Evans, who's caught 3 passes now in the game from Bianco.
And we still have Lakeshore down for unofficially 1 first down.
That's correct. That is absolutely correct.
And the punter in, number 86, Kappen. Scott Kappen. Almost blocked. Guy was right in there. Scott Hill, the quarterback, takes it at the 39. Backtracks, and now he's up to the 40, 45, 50, and out of bounds near the 47-yard line. Nice return by Scott Hill.
Great field position for Williamsville South now, and if they can get the points here, any points, field goal or a touchdown, they'll put themselves in great position to win this game with just 2:20 to go here in the 3rd quarter. They have dominated the 3rd quarter, possession time-wise.
Boy, Williamsville South has really come close to blocking quite a few kicks there. Number 76, Guy, right on top of the punter that time, but could not block Kappen's punt. Philly's defense has intercepted 5 passes the last 2 weeks. They haven't come up with any in this game, but they've played well. One of Lakeshore's touchdowns was on a kickoff return. And here is Cabala pounding out 4 or 5 yards into the middle of the line as he's inside the 45 to the 43. Mike Cabala getting some work here.
Mike's a big fella. On the offense, 6'2", 176 pounds, and he's a junior, so he's going to see more playing time in the closing weeks of the season, getting him ready for next year, getting him that game experience.
Now, Williamsville South, traditionally one of the powerful teams in Western New York high school football, always seem to have a good club. On the 43 I formation. And here is Cabala again, bangs to the 41-yard line, a gain of 3 more.
Heavy hitting going on out there. You can hear it all the way up here, shoulder pad to shoulder pad. Maceo a little slow getting up, and Solako's in on the play as well. 2-yard pickup for Cabala.
You like to have a nice big fullback. Give him the ball and let him get punished and punish people. .124 to go in the 3rd quarter. Hey, how about that basketball workout again, Frank? We did a little bit better this week.
Just a little.
Just very little better. We thought that Rick Harneth would come down and join us. We were hopeful to see that.
You know, it was the first.
Oh, no, that's all his schedule is awful busy now, though. He's been working very hard.
Very hard.
I'd like to see Rick out there, though. We sort of struggled, Frank, didn't we?
Well.
Or I did.
Called something, yeah.
3rd and 3, that pop pass. Rounds is wide open again, and he's got another first down for South inside the 30-yard line. They're just not defending that play that well, Frank. He's always wide open.
Well, he lines up as a tight end, and he's been blocking and blocking and blocking. And 14-yard reception there for Rounds. Look at it again. The quarterback just looking for him right over the middle. Another first down, 10th of the game for Williamsville South, and Hill starting to complete some passes. but it's one of those plays where he's been blocking, and all of a sudden he just slips the block, and the defender's so surprised probably he doesn't realize what's happening, and Hill's finding him right over the middle.
Boy, since that Jerome interception of a Hill pass in the first half, Hill has been on fire. And just a yard there for Mike Cabela.
Hill took a pretty good hit there from number 15 on the defense.
According to your sheet there, I see him 6 out of his last 7, Scott Hill passing.
That's the way I have it.
You're always accurate. You know how my sheet looks. 19 seconds to go in the third quarter. One thing about the high school football season, Frank, we've been pretty blessed. Rick Carneth putting the games together with myself and you and everybody else, and the staff with the weather.
Yeah, it's been very good.
Beginning of the year, a couple Friday nights, we had nice weather.
Well, you had a heavy rainstorm here.
Oh, they do get to play off before the third quarter comes to an end. Here goes Cruz. 20, 15, 10. And inside the 10-yard line, first and goal for South on the final play of the third quarter as Steve Cruz turns it upfield for a first down. Danny Mecca is the injured player.
23-yard pickup there for Cruz. Let's look at it again as he just goes wide right, cuts it through the defense, and now he's going to turn it down. Watch a good move here as he beat that defender and all the way down to the 5-yard line before he's brought to the ground. And that fellow that tackled him, I think it's number 42, who checked into the game a little bit late, still on the ground. I don't know if we have a number listed for 42. That will total up the third quarter stats after 3 quarters of play.
All right, and in that third quarter, the only scoring came on a 1-yard run by Cruz that kept a 70-yard touchdown drive for Williamsville South as they took the second half kickoff. They were aided by a 4th and 1 play from the 1-yard line, an interference call against Rounds, which gave them first and goal, and Cruz went in on first down for the touchdown. They tried for a single point. They lined up for a single point and faked it, and then Hill threw and overthrew Jeff Hill. Scott Hill overthrew Jeff Hill. They did not get the 2 points. You look at the injured player on the field, Danny Mecca. So they got 6 points out of it with a touchdown and led it 19-12. There was no further scoring in the third quarter. So your score after 3 quarters is Williamsville South 19 and Lakeshore 12. And again, to tell you about the situation in West New York high school football, of course, each team that wins their division, either outright or by a tiebreaker, goes to Rich Stadium. All 10 divisions in the ECIC Section 6 Federation. Then there's 2 wild cards. They come from a C school classification and a B school classification. Right now, Salamanca's leading for the C school wild card position, but should they win their division, and it looks like they will, it should come down to the winner of Cleveland Hill JFK next week. And so one of the local teams here, Cleveland Hill or JFK from our immediate area and our cable area with the Adelphia Cable franchise, should get that wild card spot. Now in the B class, it's a little bit more complex. It's between Lackawanna, Williamsville South, Clarence, and the dark horse is Amherst, and only one can go. Of course, if you win your division, you can't go, so it would go to another school. Right now, Clarence is in the driver's seat, but they have to beat Frontier today, or else it would come down to Lackawanna or South. Cruz stopped at the line of scrimmage, no gain. It's very confusing, that wild card situation. There is still a chance, Frank, that Amherst, if everybody else starts to lose, could sneak in.
Well, that's what Dick Gallagher was explaining to us, that there's still an outside shot if things happen to fall right, and on a Sunday that they could get there.
It all comes down to the Harbin point total, and you get so many points for defeating a big school, and especially a team with a winning record. Now, Amherst plays Orchard Park. They'd get a ton of points for beating Orchard Park. Second and goal from the 5-yard line. No gain on that last play. South trying to put it away here in the fourth quarter. Hill rolling, throwing wide open. Jeff Hill, touchdown. No, he did not maintain possession of the ball. He had it in the end zone and dropped it.
Ooh, that was close. Hill seemed to have the ball and very near the far sideline, and the official, in his opinion, just did not seem to have full control, but as he crossed the line and went out of bounds without possession. There's your third quarter stats as we have them. Just 1 first down for Lakeshore. West Seneca, or Williamsville South, pardon me, with 10. Yards passing and yards rushing dominated by Williamsville South, and the total yardage obviously dominated by Williamsville South, and the score still close.
Very close, 19-12. Big play here, third down and goal from the 5. Jeff Hill just dropping an apparent touchdown pass. Very close play. And again, it's to the end zone. Rounds this time, hangs on for the touchdown. You get it close to Chuck Rounds, and he doesn't drop too many.
Unusual play because Rounds was right in the general area of the other receiver out there, Jeff Hill. Let's look at it again as Scott Hill rolls left. Under some pressure, the defender jumping up on the play, but Rounds just a little bit taller than everybody else, number 40. It's 6'3", 218 pounds. Got up in the air a little bit bigger than everybody else and made the reception.
Well, he beat Brett Borman, 34, right in the picture there as he was down on the ground after that touchdown catch. The man right next to him caught it, Chuck Rounds. So South in good position now in this game. 25-12, a try for extra point. Scott Hill drills it, and he's got it. So with 11:07 remaining in the ball game, Williamsville South pulling away, leading Lakeshore 26-12. Scott Hill has been very, very impressive here in the second half, the quarterback.
Yes, he has. He completed about 4 passes in the first half, suffered a crucial interception, allowing Lakeshore to take it in from there for a score. But in the second half, unofficially, I have him 5 completions and 7 attempts.
Frank, there's 2 big ball games going on in high school football this weekend that are going to determine division championships. In Division I, Lancaster is playing at Jamestown. Lancaster, just reading an article about them, lost 10 starters on offense from last year. And unbelievably, somehow they've come along and put together a good football team. They also have a new coach.
Len Jankowitz.
Yeah, first-year coach as he replaced Joe Foyle after many, many years, or many successful years. So whoever wins that wins Division I, and whoever wins the Grand Island game playing against Lockport wins Division V. And if Orchard Park beats Maryville today, which is expected, they'll win Division II. Last week, Orchard Park led Jamestown 15-14 to the last minute of the game. Jamestown kicked a field goal, beat them 17-15, and it's quite possible if Jamestown wins against Lancaster, we'll see Jamestown and Orchard Park at Rich Stadium. That would be the matchup, 1 against 2. Jeff Hill's kick, batted around by Evans. He picks it up at the 29, and he's creamed at the 32. So 11:01 to go in the game. Lakeshore needs a couple of miracle plays. They did have a 50-yard run by David Romanowski called back because of a penalty on their last drive. That really hurt. And they have unofficially picked up only 1 first down.
That's what we have them for, just 1 first down in the football game. They scored on a 15-yard pass, 13-yard pass to the wide receiver Evans, and then they had the kickoff return for 85 yards for a touchdown. A big hit there from number 36, Paul Fitzpatrick, the linebacker, on number 34, Borman, the running back. Boy, he just labeled him. 3-yard pickup for Borman, his second carry of the game.
Now, Paul Fitzpatrick really creamed the running back on that one. Quite a shot there by Fitzpatrick. Down to 10:30 remaining. Gain of 3 on that last play, 2nd down and 7. Bianco brings them up to the line of scrimmage from the I formation. The line of scrimmage now the 35-yard line of Lakeshore. Bianco, and they sweep it to Romanowski. Romanowski fumbles the ball, and South has recovered. Number 22 falls on it, Scott Dusenberry.
Let's look at it again as Romanowski with the pitch to the left side of the field, trying to cut against the grain, and he was stripped of the ball there by one of the defenders who comes up on the play, and then the recovery puts Williamsville South in great field position at the 35-yard line of Lakeshore. So Lakeshore giving up a lot of field position here in the second half. Williamsville South starting from their own 30 took it in for a touchdown. From the Lakeshore 48 they took it in. Now from the Lakeshore 35 they could really wrap it up.
Coulda, woulda, and shoulda for Lakeshore. That miracle touchdown on the deflected pass in the end zone turned this game around. Snelling sacks the quarterback, Scott Hill, and really creamed him. Hill is apparently hurt. Well, he's all right now, but really took a shot.
Well, we're keeping unofficial sack totals. 3rd sack unofficially of the game of Scott Hill. Loss of 33 yards and those 2 sacks, or those 3 sacks rather. First one here in the second half.
9:30 remaining in the game. Frank, you have to go back to that crazy play, as it's been a long game, that option pass from Rounds as it deflected off his wide receiver and into the hands of Lisicki. with a touchdown, turned this game completely around. Here's a draw to Cruz, and Cruz is met by Jeroman after a gain of 4.
Jeroman must really have Cruz in his sights all game long. That might have been the defensive game plan for Jeroman to just stick with him, because he's been able to drop him almost exclusively throughout the contest.
Played a nice ball game, Chris
3-yard
Jeroman. Very strong game from the linebacker spot, number 68. You'd have to really sort of point the finger at the Lakeshore offense. They haven't done much with the ball, and their defense has been on the field an awful long time in this game. Scott Hill fakes the Cruz. Here is Snellings again. He had him by the shirt, and Hill throws the long one out there. It is going to be caught. What a catch. This time Jeff Hill went up and took it away from the defenders there. Beautiful reception.
Well, they don't get much better than that. The ball back at the 42-yard line. Or the 40-yard line, rather. So a beautiful reception. Now look at Hill eluding the pressure of Snellings, and then he just launches it. Now number 11 will have a great chance to deflect the ball away there. Or leaped a little too early. Bianca was standing there, and he couldn't get a hand on it, and Jeff Hill came down with it. Ball inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. A 36-yard reception for Jeff Hill.
Well, the whole secondary was in that general location. 4 guys there. First and goal from the 4. And South looking to pad the lead. Here goes Cruz. He's cut down after a short gain on the play of a yard or 2.
Well, homecoming weekend here at Williamsville South, and a successful one with the floats, the parade, and now the football game.
Well, it's really crazy how one game can turn a football game around. Now, if they didn't get that deflected touchdown in the end zone to Lasicki, they would be down at half 12-7. Now Lakeshore would come out and have all that momentum. Different ball game in the second half.
Absolutely. Lakeshore, the Eagles, probably disheartened after a play like that, and it takes a lot out of you. And then Williamsville South just rammed it down the field.
Took that second half kickoff, took it right in for a touchdown. Here's Cruz. Cruz battling, and he's in. Touchdown. Good second effort by Steve Cruz, the senior tailback. And that's his second touchdown of the game.
Look at it again as Cruz just keeps fighting, turning those legs and forcing the defender back into the end zone. 35-yard scoring drive, as we said. On their 3 possessions here in the second half, they've scored touchdowns. So they've broken the game wide open.
Good football team, no doubt about it. Williamsville South, Chuck Huber, their head coach. Elmer Sharmock and Mike Kelly, the assistants. Head JV coach Dan Kelly. Jim Lamb is his assistant. The freshman coach, Kevin Lester. And assisted by Jerry Scarcella. The extra point is no good. Wide. The district superintendent at South, Dr. Howard Welker. The principal is Dr. Thomas Ahern. The assistant, Dr. Daniel Hickman. Assistant, Mr. Nicholas D'Angelo. The athletic director, Dr. James Russin. And the faculty manager, Mr. James Trapp. And the Lakeshore Eagles
going to have to open up their passing attack here in the late going, and 7 minutes and 19 seconds ago. Probably too little too late with the score tremendously in favor of the Billies. But make it interesting anyway and see if James Bianco can crank it up. Unofficially, we have him 4 for 7 in the game.
Well, they see their season coming to a close, the Lakeshore Eagles. James Jones, one of the assistants. Frank Nicatra is the athletic director at Lakeshore. Danny Godfrey, coaching in his 8th season. George Mao and James Jones, his assistants. And as we mentioned, Frank Nicatra, the athletic director. Paul Newman is the manager of the team.
Oh, kid.
Yeah,
popcorn guy?
No, this one of the youngsters there with the same name. Either you give a kid a lot of confidence or a complex. Either or. Kickoff. Oh, line driver hit by one of the up man and fallen on by one of the Eagles. I think 50, Craig Owens fell on the ball. That's who it is. From the 45-yard line of Lakeshore, they have good field position. They have accomplished only 1 first down in the game despite scoring 12 points. We've had some long plays in the game, Frank. We've had a kickoff return for a touchdown that was very exciting. From the 45, Bianco, fake, and Maceo is creamed. Oh, Fitzpatrick came on strong after the original hit.
Steve Abbott into the play as well. Number 33 also getting some time in there. H.C. Brooks on the tackle, and Fitzpatrick cleaning up. That hurts.
Now Maceo, I could read his lips. He just went back to the quarterback, Bianco, and says, why don't we try passing?
I would go along with that. No problem.
Boy, South has really been popping on defense. I formation, no gain on that play, 2nd and 10. Bianco, and the pitch back to the new running back in, and no gain on that play either. Number 20, Chris Pauley, who had the touchdown and that 85-yard kickoff return, is stopped for no gain.
Well, South really starting to assert themselves out in the field defensively. They played well most of the game, limiting Lakeshore to very little offensive production, but the points on the board by Lakeshore came in spectacular fashion. An 85-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, and then the 15-yard or 13-yard pass play after an interception of a Williamsville South pass.
3rd and 9 for Bianco, 5:52 to go in this ball game in regulation. Here's the blitz by Fitzpatrick, and he's got him. Bianco thrown down for a loss as Fitzpatrick all over the place. Paul Fitzpatrick, 5'11", 195-pound senior. I think that was Mr. Fitzpatrick's talking about his son there, telling the PA man, Paul Fitzpatrick. It's got to be the dad. Frank, we kidded about it, but what if we're still announcing when our kids are playing high school? Here's the punt. And Campen, the line drives it. Scott Hill, the quarterback, 25, 30, 35, get out of bounds. Yes, he does. He's running for his life.
Smart play there for Hill. Let's see if Chuck Huber decides to insert some players. There's a flag back behind the play. And a procedure call against Lakeshore. They'll probably decline it, take possession of the football. And there's the signal with 5:07 to go in the football game.
We've got 32-12. That's the lead.
It was 26-12. And then it's touchdown, 6 points, gives you 32, and they missed the extra point, so it's 32-12 here.
32-12. Big fourth quarter for Williamsville South and big second half. 5:07 to go in the game, and South has got 2 chances at it now. I'm sure all the kids will go home and they'll have a good time tonight. Watch all these local sportscasts and hope for a Frontier win over Clarence. If they get that, then both Lackawanna and South should make it, which would be unusual. Running back number 28, Don Farr, gets 3 or 4 yards. Because if Clarence should lose to Frontier, the way the wild card situation breaks down, it looks like both Lackawanna and South would make it. South would go into their final game of the year 6-1, and Lackawanna at 6-0-1, but that's all speculation. We're just not quite sure about how the point totals go. There is a chance, though, that if Clarence would falter against Frontier this week, that both Lackawanna and South could make it to Rich Stadium. However, Clarence and Amherst have some other ideas about that. Flag is down. The 37 is the ball carrier. That's Dan Ingersoll. Illegal motion signaled against Williamsville South. It's been a long game, Frank. It's been a long season. Went by pretty quick. You grabbing all of that?
Sort of. It's been a pretty good football game here. We've had some nice games over the year. Some games that turned into blowouts, and that's when they turn into long football games. But for the most part, they've been pretty exciting.
Pretty good game in Tonawanda, Clinton Small Stadium. Lackawanna was tested for 3 quarters against Tonawanda.
Yeah.
Actually, the game should have ended up 12-0. It ended up 19-0 with that late score.
We had a good game last time we were here when Wheatfield upset Williamsville South in that monsoon.
Scott Hill on the draw, fumble, ball is loose, and I think South covered it as Fire was really popped. He gave it up, but South signaling they still maintain possession, and they do.
Ball must have bounced right back into his hands as he was laying on the ground. It did, number 28. Wow. Don Farr, a junior, 5'10", 145-pounder, getting a chance to get some playing time, and boy, he took a hit there.
Third down and 14 to go. 3 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the ball game. Well, Scott Hill, I'm a little surprised he's gone the entire route at quarterback. And we see a youngster warming up there on the sidelines. Maybe the backup, Dave Bitar, junior, number 13, taking some snaps. Hill, under pressure, scrambles. Flag is down. Hill picks up the first down to the 50, to the 45, 40, 35, 30, down inside the 20, but this one will come back.
And there's a flag after that play, too, as number 11 forced him out of bounds. John Oberon, the official, maybe signaling a little bit of roughing along the far sideline.
Now we've got a flag resting near the 27-yard line of South. It's got to be some type of clip or push on South, aiding the ball carrier. Boy, I'll tell you one thing, Scott Hill has really shown a lot of quickness to me. I didn't really think that he was that quick of a runner out of the scrambling situations, Frank, but he's really quick.
Yeah, he can motor when he gets into the open field. There you see him waiting along with Brett Borman, who's being talked to by the officials from Lakeshore.
One thing about doing the games year in and year out, you see some of these players develop from that sophomore to junior to senior season and how much better they are once they're a senior.
Yep.
Really, you see a lot of kids that are not that good of players as juniors, and then all of a sudden as seniors they're excellent. 3:04 to go in a long second half that has been all Williamsville South.
Illegal block against Williamsville South. Dead ball personal foul against Lakeshore. Oh, let's sort this one out.
32-12, Williamsville South. With the win, they'll go to 6-1 on the year. You need just about a computer to figure out the whole wild card situation when it goes on to the final week. I'm sure I thoroughly confused everybody.
You've had a lot of fun with that over the last few